What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 3 of the Real GP series featuring the brutal red dragons. So if you tuned in last week, you saw that I went through and compared the Dragon Hunter crossbow to the blowpipe while fighting the brutal blue dragons. This week, I'll be doing the same thing in the same style with the brutal red dragons, and if you didn't guess, next week will be the brutal black dragons. So I've had some questions about the actual maximum GP per hour. I'm positive the kills would be a lot faster if I was using onyx tip bolts or dragon darts here, but I'm not looking to find the maximum kill rate per hour, I'm looking to find the maximum profit per hour. And doing this requires me to use affordable ammunition, not something that's going to break the bank. So that is why I've chosen to go with amethyst tip bolts for the crossbow and adamant darts for the blowpipe. Hope that clears any discrepancies up. But anyway, thanks for coming back to check out another video. If you haven't already, head over to my Instagram and Twitter and give it a follow. You might catch some dank RuneScape memes, viewer submitted achievements, or some other goodies. If you're looking for some other players to boss with, or just to make some new friends, I urge you to come hang out in my clan chat. The Slayer Squad has grown into an amazing community of people that help each other out and have a lot of fun together. Alright, so let's get this show on the road. The brutal red dragons are located in the catacombs of Kourend, which is located on the continent of Zeah. There's a couple ways to get here, which I explained in the brutal blue dragon video from last week, so if you need to know how to get here, check out that video for a couple of different methods. I don't want to be repeating too much stuff because after a while it'll just get redundant. As for the background information, brutal red dragons have a combat level of 289 and a hit points level of 285. Their maximum hit is 26 with melee and magic, but can be over 50 with dragonfire. They attack with melee, dragonfire, and a magic attack, giving us reason not to melee them. Just like the other breeds of brutal dragons, their dragonfire attack can be completely negated by using the Protect from Magic prayer paired with an anti-fire potion. Because of this, the brutal reds can be safely ranged from a distance. Definitely make sure you stay out of their melee range because they will hit quite often and for a good amount of damage. The brutal reds have an attack level of 310, strength level of 210, and a defense level of 198 and magic level of 250. The brutal reds actually have the same defense as the brutal blues, making them take just as much damage. The only difference is the reds have 40 more hit points, making the kills slightly longer. The reds and blues also share a plus 50 range defense bonus, thus making them exactly equal in the amount of DPS that can be inflicted. As for the drops, the table is very similar to the brutal blues. There are only a couple of items that differ on both of the drop tables, but most remain the same, only in higher quantities. Unlike the normal red dragons, brutal red dragons drop 2 hides instead of 1, so picking up the hides and bones will net you a minimum of 7.5k GP per kill. Brutal reds also have the chance to drop the Draconic Visage at a rate of 1 in 10,000. Some other drops you want to keep an eye out for are 2 rune full helms, rune plate bodies, dragon med helms, long swords and daggers, 2 noted runite ores, dragon dart and arrow tips, and ensouled dragon heads. So in my humble opinion, the debate on whether brutal reds are worth doing or not shouldn't even be a debate. They will still make you money and most definitely should be done whether you're camping them or have them as a slayer task. Getting into the gear setup, it will be exactly the same as last week. Crossbow gear is on the left and blowpipe gear is on the right. As for the gear that will remain the same, I'll be going with the full Armadillo set, which includes the helmet, plate, and chain skirt, Ava's accumulator, necklace of anguish, Barrow's gloves, Pegasian boots, and an archer's ring eye. For the crossbow setup, I'll be using the Dragon Hunter crossbow paired with a twisted buckler, as all the magic damage will be negated and I won't need an anti-dragon shield. For ammunition, I'll be using amethyst tip broad bolts. These share the same range strength as runite bolts, so deciding which one to use will depend on the cost at the time. They will both work very well. For the blowpipe setup, I'll be using adamant darts, and since the blowpipe is a two-handed weapon, I can't use anything in the shield slot, but since our ammunition slot is now free, we'll want to be using one of the God Blessings to give us a small boost to prayer. If you're camping for a long time, that small boost can save you a lot of prayer points in the long run. As for the inventory setup, I just went with 1 range potion, 1 extended anti-fire potion, 1 prayer potion, and house teleport so I could recharge my stats and bank quickly. Unless you have a lower range level, you won't find yourself needing too much prayer here. 1 prayer potion per trip will do the job. I found that using the Dragon Hunter crossbow, I would usually use 1, maybe 2 doses of prayer potion per trip, and with the blowpipe, about 50% of the time I wouldn't need any prayer potions, and the other 50% I'd need 1 dose. So let's get into the loot and see what the numbers tell us about Brutal Reds. Just like the gear setup, the loot from the crossbow will be on the left and the loot from the blowpipe will be on the right. I killed the Brutal Reds for 25 hours total and split it up into two 12.5 hour sessions to see how the Dragon Hunter crossbow and blowpipe stack up against each other. We'll go ahead and start with the crossbow loot. In 12.5 hours with the crossbow, I managed to kill 466 Brutal Red Dragons, which averaged me about 37 kills per hour. Compared to the 52 per hour I got with Brutal Blues, the crossbow is considerably slower at Reds even though they share the same defense level and range defense, but with only 40 more hit points. So let's go ahead and throw the loot into the price checker and see what I came out with. So 466 Brutal Red Dragons brought me in a total of 6,498,668 GP. As for supplies, I ended up using 27 extended anti-fires, 27 range potions, 29 prayer potions, and 2,843 amethyst bolts. I also used a total of 84 house teleports and 84 teleport to Koren's, which required 2 law and 2 soul runes, making it a somewhat expensive teleport. This brought my total supply cost to 1,246,732 GP, giving me a total profit of 5,251,956 GP. We'll go ahead and round this to 5.25 mil, divide it by 12.5, which gives me a profit of 420k per hour. As for the blowpipe, it was considerably faster. I ended up with 593 total kills, which averaged me about 47 kills per hour. That's a total of 10 whole dragons per hour faster, or if you want to look at it from a GP standpoint, a guaranteed 75k more per hour. But since the cost of the blowpipe is so hefty, let's see how it stacks up against the crossbow. So with 593 kills, my total loot ends up being 8,572,524 GP. For blowpipe supplies, I ended up using 26 extended anti-fire potions, 26 ranging potions, 17 prayer potions, 18,649 Zulrah scales, 5,230 adamant darts, 98 house teleports, and 98 Karen teleports. This brings my total supply cost to 3,368,209 GP, giving me a total profit margin of 5,204,315 GP. We'll round this to 5.2 mil, and I end up with 416k profit per hour. So unlike the Brutal Blue Dragons, it seems as though the Brutal Reds are somewhat even in the profit per hour, whether you're using the Dragon Hunter crossbow or the blowpipe. I'm not really sure how that works out. Someone in my clan chat had a theory that it's because of the HP increase. It may have taken me 3 more bolts to kill a Brutal Red Dragon, while in the time I used those 3 bolts, I could kill it with 3 darts from the blowpipe. So this could be attributed to the attack speed, but hey, you can't really argue with math now, can you? So just like last video, let's go ahead and check out my total loot from all 25 hours just for fun. My total loot came in at 15,071,192 GP. This ended up being very close to my total loot from Brutal Blues, which was a little closer to 15 mil. As for supplies, the total cost for the blowpipe and the crossbow ended up being 4,614,941 GP, giving me a total profit of 10,456,251 GP. We'll round that to 10.45 mil, which then averaged me 418k per hour. Remember though, since this average was from 2 different weapons, the value isn't accurate, this was just for fun. So again, thank you guys for requesting something that was a lot of fun to kill. After the Brutal Blues and Reds, my bank is now looking about 21 mil better. As for next week, we've got one more Brutal Dragon type to go, and I will be bringing you the final decision on whether the blowpipe or the crossbow is better at Brutal Black Dragons. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'll try to get to every single one that I can. Don't forget to tap that subscribe button on your way out. Take it easy, everybody.